If you've ever played a mobile game, used WeChat, or scrolled through global social media, chances are Tencent was quietly behind the scenes. This is the world's most powerful tech company you've probably never heard enough about. It doesn't shout like Apple, move markets like Amazon, or trend like Meta, but it might control more of your digital life than any other company in the world. Welcome back to Stag Research. I'm your host, Mr. Stag. If you love deep dives on business empires, founder legacies, and the stories behind the brands you see everywhere, you're in the right place. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an insider story. From humble beginnings in 1998 to becoming the silent puppet master behind global gaming giants like Riot Games, Epic Games, and Supercell, Tencent has amassed a digital empire through stealth, strategic investments, and staggering scale. The man behind it, Pony Ma. A quiet billionaire with a quiet company that moves louder than you think. And get this, one of its earliest and most profitable backers wasn't even Chinese. It was South Africa's Naspers. Their $32 million stake in 2001 turned into a position worth over $100 billion at its peak, possibly the greatest venture capital investment of all time. So how did Tencent build this kingdom? How does it make money? And what does the future hold for the company that may already own the games your kids play, the apps you chat on, and the future of entertainment itself? Let's dive into the empire of Tencent. Pony Ma, born Ma Huateng in 1971 in Guangdong province, wasn't groomed for global domination. Pony Ma moved to Shenzhen as a child, a city that would soon become the beating heart of China's economic revolution. His father was a port manager in the booming industrial city of Shenzhen, just across the border from Hong Kong. Designated as China's first special economic zone in 1980, Shenzhen exploded with foreign investment, telecom expansion, and technology hubs. Young Ma grew up in a place where factories hummed with global ambition and ideas from the West blended with Chinese pragmatism. While most of China was still catching up, Shenzhen had already plugged into the future. This environment gave Ma access to early computers, satellite communications, and business journals. A shy, mathematically gifted student, Ma enrolled at Shenzhen University, where he majored in computer science. After graduation, he worked for China Motion Telecom, where he specialized in software for pages. It wasn't glamorous, but it taught him how people communicated, and more importantly, how that communication was evolving. That foundational knowledge would eventually lead to the birth of Tencent and the beginnings of one of the most powerful digital ecosystems in modern history. In 1998, Pony Ma teamed up with 4 classmates to create a company called Tencent. Their first product? A simple desktop messenger cloned from an Israeli software called ICQ. They called it OICQ. It was fast, free, and addictive. When AOL acquired ICQ and challenged Tencent's copycat branding, Ma quickly rebranded the messenger to QQ. But it was too late. The app had already gone viral across China's internet cafes, school campuses, and office buildings. QQ became the MSN Messenger of China, and Tencent became a household name. By 2000, Tencent had tens of millions of users. But it had no revenue. Ma was forced to sell a 46.5% stake in the company for just $32 million to South Africa's Naspers, a move that would change both companies forever. That early bet from Naspers became one of the most legendary VC investments of all time, turning into a stake worth over $100 billion by 2020. While Ma retained control, it was Naspers' capital that allowed Tencent to survive, expand, and eventually dominate. In 2011, Tencent launched what would become its most important product ever, WeChat. What began as a simple messaging app became a super app, combining texting, social media, payments, video calls, ride-hailing, gaming, shopping, and even government ID functions all into one unified platform. By 2024, WeChat had over 1.3 billion monthly active users, almost the entire population of China. Tencent took a cut from everything inside WeChat, creating a financial flywheel that made it virtually irreplaceable in Chinese daily life. Even its mobile payment solution, WeChat Pay, rivals Alipay and processes trillions in transactions annually. But Tencent wasn't just building apps, it was building a walled garden where every digital transaction, social interaction, and commercial exchange could happen under its control. Not all of Tencent's ventures succeeded. Its push to make WeChat a Western staple fizzled out, thanks to privacy concerns, limited localization, and fierce competition from WhatsApp and Messenger. It was a rare miss in an otherwise unstoppable run. As Chinese regulations tightened at home, Ma realized that overseas growth would be crucial. And rather than build from scratch, Tencent bought in. In 2011, Tencent acquired a majority stake in Riot Games, the studio behind League of Legends. In 2016, it bought Supercell, the maker of Clash of Clans, for $8.6 billion. It owns 40% of Epic Games, the studio behind Fortnite. It holds stakes in Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, Grinding Gear Games, Bluehole, PUBG, Roblox, and many more. All told, Tencent is now the largest video game company on Earth by revenue, and it barely promotes its name on the games you know and love. That's by design. Ma prefers quiet control over loud branding. While Western governments bicker over TikTok, Tencent is quietly embedded in dozens of the most downloaded games worldwide. Its revenues come from gaming, the largest chunk, advertising, cloud services, fintech via WeChat Pay, and strategic investments in over 600 companies. In 2017, it bought 5% of Tesla for $1.8 billion, becoming one of Elon Musk's largest outside investors. It's also invested in Snap, Reddit, Discord, and Spotify, to name a few, making Tencent a silent force shaping Silicon Valley. As of 2024, Tencent's market capitalization sits around $360 billion, though it peaked above $900 billion during its heyday in 2021. Annual revenues exceed $80 billion, with gaming accounting for about 30–35%. And Tencent isn't just a software company, it's a major player in cloud computing, music streaming, via Tencent Music, film production, digital payments, and e-commerce, via stakes in Pinduoduo, JD.com, and more. Its investment thesis is often subtle. Take a minority stake, help the company scale using Tencent's massive ecosystem, and then remain strategically involved. This has made Tencent not just a tech company, but a global puppeteer of digital power. But with great scale comes great scrutiny. In 2021, Tencent was caught in Beijing's sweeping tech crackdown. Authorities imposed curfews on gaming for minors, froze new game approvals, and pressured platforms to de-emphasize profit. Tencent's stock plummeted. Billions were wiped off its valuation. Pony Ma became almost invisible from the public eye, rarely giving interviews or speeches. He even instructed senior executives to lie low and align with state priorities. While Alibaba's Jack Ma openly challenged regulators and paid the price, Pony Ma moved more cautiously, closer to the party's line. It's a survival strategy, and so far, it's working. Tencent has pivoted to highlight its common prosperity efforts, increase charity contributions, and emphasize social responsibility in gaming and education. Despite being one of the richest people in China, with a net worth of around 30 billion, Pony Ma remains a ghost compared to other tech moguls. He's deeply private, rarely photographed, and absent from social media. He avoids the limelight but commands massive influence. Often called the Jeff Bezos of China, with Jack Ma being more like Elon Musk, Pony Ma's legacy is quiet domination. He built a tech ecosystem that millions rely on daily, both in China and across the globe. While his empire faces more scrutiny than ever, Ma continues to guide Tencent through evolving regulation, overseas expansion, and a shifting digital landscape. His genius lies not in invention, but in adaptation, scale, and quiet execution. Tencent didn't storm the global market, it seeped into it. Bit by bit, stake by stake, partnership by partnership. From China's dorm rooms to Silicon Valley boardrooms, the company has mastered a strategy of strategic silence and undeniable presence. Whether it's the games your kids play, the social networks you scroll, or the fintech rails behind your favorite apps, Tencent is there. Its early backers like Naspers made one of the smartest investment bets in history. Pony Ma, its soft-spoken founder, built a company worth hundreds of billions by keeping his head down while expanding in every direction. And today, Tencent stands as a digital empire that few understand, but everyone touches. So, what does the future hold for Tencent? That depends on two forces: China's regulatory iron grip and the West's growing skepticism of Chinese tech ownership. But if history is any guide, Tencent will adapt, just like it always has. Quietly, strategically, powerfully. Let us know what you think about Tencent's influence in the comments below. Do you play any games it owns? Were you surprised by how deep its reach goes? And don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, like, comment, and subscribe to Stag Research. We're here every week diving into the giants, ghosts, and geniuses of global business. Mr. Stag, logging off.